Today I'm going to be taking the engine out of this Ariel 3. I've got no user manual, so I'm pretty much making it up as I go along. I've took off the rear lid by removing the two bolts. The wiring for the lights was already disconnected. There's only a single wire obviously. So next step is carburetor off. There's two bolts here, cable, another cable and a fuel line. These bolts are 10mm. These nuts are 10mm. This one is easy with a socket. This one will have to be done with a spanner because of where it's positioned. First of all, we'll have the carb off. It's normally clamped onto there via this screw. This cable simply unscrews from out the top. As you can see, there is no needle on the bottom of this, unlike most carburetors. That's normal. The choke cable is retained by the spring. You lift it over, cable off, cable out. My fuel line isn't connected, so I can just slide that off. The banjo on the top of the carburetors is very fragile. Be careful with it if you take the fuel pipe off of it. It's black plastic. They are very hard to find. Now it's simply a case of the second 10mm bolt, nut, sorry, I get those mixed up sometimes. Well, not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. There we have the inlet manifold. It's not really made for performance. Then we have the reed block. The purpose of this is to create a one-way valve so that it can only suck through the carburetor and then compress the gases in the bottom of the engine before they are transferred to the cylinder to fire in the top. That's how a two-stroke works. Some are done using the piston, ours is done using a reed valve. The only other connection to the engine would be the exhaust, but mine isn't on there. It's two 10mm nuts at the front. Nothing to worry about. So we have an adjuster there for the belt. This adjuster would normally tension this. That cover's got to come off. An 11mm bolt, got that the right way round, and a nut at the very front. Correction, nut and bolt, so there's another 11. Got that out, just that one. First half of the chain case, note the lovely Bsa logo that you never get to see on the bike. No corrosion in that, it's quite pleased. So that one, not one for that. The chain is a bit on the crispy side, I'm not surprised really. But you have to take it off because behind the chain, hang on, I'm going to move the camera up for a second. Behind the chain there is the other end of this engine mounting bolt. I will edit this video to try and sort out the wobbliness. Now, of course, as always, supervised by the boss. Hello, boss. Right. Unfortunately, you can't unbolt the plates from the engine because the bolts go through to behind the flywheel and behind the clutch, which is somewhat annoying. I should point out I've never took the engine out of one of these before. Would appear if the chain is slack, you can get that out. That's an engine mount bolt. There's two of those. One there. One there. So you manage to lean the engine forwards. As soon as I can get that bolt out now. Almost forgot the top of the engine decompressor cable. Bsa M48 engine. Not quite the right way of doing it. As you can see, it all sort of double fits in behind everything else in there. I'm playing that. Thanks for watching.